Ooh, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 128 of the Stand Up Guys podcast. I'm your host, incomparable Zach Jones, and I'm joined, as always, by my brother from the same mother, Lester Jones.
Hello, everybody.
And, of course, this one, I don't think I have to edit this one. I don't think this one has any words YouTube would disagree with, but we'll see. We got the ninth wonder, Chocolate Thunder, doing the deed and spreading that seed, the rootin' tootin', skeet shootin', filling up pies with the might of 50 guys. I ain't telling no lies, the phenomenal A.J. Singh.
What's up, everybody? Good to be here, and my mic's a little soft, actually.
Yeah, we mix things around, so keep talking.
All right. Yeah, we'll fix that later.
So what did you watch this week, and I'll see if I can't boost your sound a little bit.
I've been watching Disney movies lately, actually. We've been talking about taking the kids to Disneyland, so we're trying to get them into like some of the Disney stuff, and we're trying to introduce them to all the properties. So we watched Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, whichever is that
Tangled.
Tangled.
Oh yeah.
I think
That seemed a little sexual. Oh yeah, Tangled.
And then we're also going to watch my favorite is going to be Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm looking forward to watching that one again.
I really love, I think the first Pirates movie is great. The second one's pretty good. The third one was where it starts to falter a bit, and I even like the third one okay. I think the end kind of, poops the bed a little bit. And then, did you ever watch 4 and 5? I watched them both once, and I was like, they're forgettable.
They seem so almost disconnected from the first one so
I don't
much.
know if I watched 5.
It's not good.
Yeah.
They're just bland, forgettable.
Yeah.
In one ear and out the other type of thing.
Yeah, and the whole Jack Sparrow thing is like running to the ground. Like, he's a drunk. We get it. He's weird.
I know a couple of years ago they were talking about like rebooting the whole series. I think with like Margot Robbie in the lead. And I was like, okay, I was like into that, but like I don't think it went anywhere, at least not yet.
Do you think Johnny Depp was too effeminate for her to step into his shoes?
It would be funny if they just like, oh yeah, we're just recasting. She's Jack Sparrow.
I mean, all of those 80s rock stars were pretty effeminate, too. That was pretty much the look they were going for.
The big hair era? Yeah. I'm all about that.
Didn't they have, like, one of the Rolling Stones guys to play one of the characters in the movie? Like,
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Jack Sparrow's dad was, what's the guitarist from the Rolling Stones? A really old well, they're all old son bitches, but Keith
Richards.
Yeah.
I pretty much only know Keith Richards and
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
It was Keith Richards.
Yeah. So I think their whole theme was like to, have the rock star thing. And, the way Jack Sparrow acted, he was like supposed to be like a rock star.
Did you know, like Keith Richards, like you expected he would have died from drugs like years ago. He did have like a weird near-death experience. I don't know. It's been so long now, I don't remember. It was either like he got hit in the head by a coconut or like fell out of a coconut tree.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
It had to do with a coconut tree or something. And like
coconuts.
It almost got him or something.
Yeah, you think those tropical places are paradises, but how many people are getting murked by coconuts?
I want to see somebody on like Call of Duty just die by coconut. Just random death.
Yeah, that'd be a great map, actually.
Man, you ever? I get leery sometimes, like when you're in a Costco and you just see these pallets of like shit, because like those have fallen and killed people before.
Oh my god!
And it's like you look at those and it's like, yeah, that would do the job.
I never look up.
I like those videos where people are like filling warehouses and like the guy's driving the forklift and he barely bumps one of the shelves and then he knocks down like
like dominoes.
It's like $1 billion worth of produce or something. You're like, wow, if that guy survived, he got fired.
Oh man, yeah, those stores got to take that hit. You can't make some minimum wage worker pay for that.
I think you'd almost have to be insured, so hopefully insurance.
Yeah, I was surprised when I found out that like they had ships that were insured back in like ancient Greece and stuff.
Yeah, there's a long history of insuring ships because there's a fair chance that they're never going to come back. So people are like investing in it, but they're also want to like curb their downside.
That's why insurance companies suck so bad. They've had centuries to perfect fucking people.
Yeah.
Nice boy clock probably wasn't over.
We're over past a good boy.
We're over 5 minutes, so hopefully that one didn't count.
I was listening to God damn it, what's Warren Buffett's person? Charlie Munger. And he was talking about how they sent like a $20,000 claim to the insurance, and the insurance denied it because they knew that it would cost, $20,000 plus to just follow up and try for the company to try to make this claim, through the legal system. So they just denied it. And so he wrote him a system. He's like, well, I could sue you for $200,000 and then we'll see who wins. And they paid it. Like, yeah, we'll just pay it.
So which of these Disney movies so far has the kids responded to the best, do you think?
Oh, I think, was it Rapunzel that was really knocking the socks off the kids, I think?
I don't know. I heard a lot of oh craps from Liam. Oh crap. Oh crap.
Tangled, yeah.
Yeah. He's been allowed to say crap, so.
Oh, so he's really playing that card.
He's going for it. He's like, I can do it. I'm going for it.
Has he said something in school that's got him in trouble yet?
He says D's nuts like
He says
crazy.
D's nuts and crap so much, I'm surprised, like, we haven't gotten a call.
Yeah.
You're like, we tell him, like, we don't really care if you say these things, but don't say them at school. But, like, as much as he says them, I'm like, he's got it. He's got to be breaking these out once in a while.
It's got to slip through.
Yeah.
D's nuts.
I want that teacher-parent conversation. So, out of nowhere, he said D's and nuts.
And be like, you're grounded. And he starts freaking out. Yeah.
But what was the punchline? Like, what was the setup?
Yeah.
He's like, well, this kid said hi to me.
I'll work on him and make sure the next time it's funnier.
Yeah. We'll get a good flow going.
We'll make sure you set him up first.
Pretty sure the kid didn't say CDs.
What about you over there? What you been watching?
Oh, I got a synopsis for you guys. Okay. So this is a short horror film that I stumbled upon. Let's see if I can find the...
Wait, did you actually watch it, or did you just read the synopsis?
I did watch it because it was only like 15 minutes.
Oh, it's like a short film?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a...
Was this on YouTube or something?
Oh, I don't want the review. I just found it out random in the world here, but gosh damn it, where's the synopsis?
It's one of those movies that like they hope to make a real feature length movie.
God, I hope not. Okay, here we go. Jerry is a strange and solitary boy who lives with his young, neglectful mother in a rundown apartment. He spends his weekends hidden away in his bedroom making model figurines and watching TV alone. While investigating a damp stain on his bedroom wall, Jerry peels off some wallpaper, revealing a seductive alien orifice growing behind the plaster.
Seductive?
After spending an ever-increasing amount of time in his bedroom exploring and inspecting the alien creature, Jerry embarks on his first sexual experience.
How old is he?
I don't know. He's like a teenager. After numerous encounters between Jerry and the creature, he becomes pregnant. Filled with panic and guilt, Jerry attempts to abort the alien creature, leading to a horrific outcome which neither himself nor his mother will ever forget. And that's called Box Room, in case anybody's interested.
That is wild.
So what? He's just like plowing the wall, and then he's like, "Mom, can you come clean my sheets?"
It's like a glory hole. Oh my gosh.
Well, of course I had to watch it. There's one other shitty thing later I'm going to talk about that I wanted to watch, but I unfortunately didn't. But yeah, so the whole thing, like he finds like a wet spot on the wall, and like he peels back the plaster, and there's like this weird vagina back there, and like he experiments, like he touches it, he sticks a pencil in it, whatever. Like eventually, of course, he fucks it. And then there's like this weird bag hanging out of it that's like moving and breathing. And yeah, it turns out to be like a weird alien creature that his mother like steps on and throws in the river. That's pretty much it.
What about the vagina? What's it stuck to? Like, isn't it isn't it like an alien connected to it?
Well, you got like the wall, and then there's like he peels back enough just to see the vagina. So
that's weird, man.
So they throw the fetus in the river or whatever, but is the alien vagina still there?
yeah, but that's the end of the. It's only 15 minutes.
Oh, room for a sequel. Was this American made or some weird foreign thing?
It was in English. Past that, I'm not sure. So, yeah. Little side note. What were we talking about anyway?
That thing.
What we've been watching.
What did we watch? Yeah, that's what I watched.
That's pretty realistic. I'm sure somebody would fuck an alien vagina.
It sounded better than John Dielman.
Oh, yeah.
Much shorter.
At least it was short. What else have I been watching? I watched Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull again. It still has problems.
Oh, I don't know if it was this week, but didn't you watch that The Menu movie?
Yeah, it was okay.
I was wondering what you thought of that.
I mean, it keeps you hooked in, but doesn't ultimately make a lot of sense necessarily. But it's all right. It's a little horror jaunt.
I don't know if you'll remember, but so I was like, okay, like most of the people are shitty and they kind of give an explanation for what's happening to them, you know. But what about the Judith Light from Who's the Boss? Like, I was like, what did her character do?
Well, right. Her husband cheated on her. That was kind of her sin.
Yeah. It was like...
She was a feminist. That's
I was like... It seemed like she didn't do much except get cheated on. I was like, I don't know if she deserves to be punished, but okay, moving.
I just saw like a preview of not like a video, but an article talking about the new Night Court reboot. I'm like, man, they really are making this, and they're talking about getting that that bailiff, the black lady.
Oh yeah, I think
Ross?
I think I saw. I saw like,
remember that.
I saw like a promo image that I think she was in, and yeah. So I hasn't that show aired some episodes?
Has it already?
I don't know what it's on, but I think it may have.
I saw on Twitter like they were talking about like trying to get her on the show, but I didn't know she was already like on it or something.
Like if it hasn't aired yet, like it's soon.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Gonna have to subscribe to Peacock for a month.
I usually con myself into watching WrestleMania, and then I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah, no idea what's on Peacock.
I went to one WrestleMania in Houston.
Oh, you actually went in person?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Well, my friend, he had a ticket, and then me and his brother, we just snuck in. We paid somebody $35, and they snuck us in like to the event.
Wow,
we didn't have
seats. I didn't know that was a option.
Yeah, we were just some teenagers at the time, and yeah, we didn't have any seats, but we watched all the event. The Rock was there, Undertaker, I think.
Oh, so you went during like a good time.
Yeah,
the Undertaker was that doesn't narrow down very much.
Yeah,
well, he was at a lot, but yeah, if The Rock was there and like, so this was probably like late 90s, early 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah.
So yeah, you could have seen a good show actually.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I didn't watch a whole lot this week. I knocked a few more CW shows off my list. Well, I finished Batwoman, so that series is done. It was fine. Like I said, there's some goofy writing in there, some over convenient type stuff, but like. It's fine. It's watchable.
I heard they replaced Batwoman in season 3.
Season 2, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ruby Rose was only Batwoman for the first season, and then well, I know, like, she got injured on set once, but then it sounded like she also kind of had disagreements with the people in charge. So, yeah, they replaced her, and then they had a new woman for season 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I watched just, like, an episode and a half of the newest season of Titans, which... I kind of like the first couple seasons of Titans, and then it just kind of got weird and not very good. And so it's too new in this season to really tell. But and this doesn't surprise me, but both this is the last season of both Titans and Doom Patrol, because they're getting ready for whatever James Gunn's doing. Apparently, the decision to cancel them was made before he came on. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me. But
they did say Doom Patrol's ending.
Yeah, yeah. So this will be the last season.
So we got another half season.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, my HBO subscription is like almost out, and then I figure like whenever that's done, I'll dip back in and finish that up.
Whatever you do, don't watch Velma.
Yeah, I tried to cope.
He said that's bad. Did you watch it?
I've only heard bad things about it.
Me too. But yeah, apparently people are not.
I wanted to talk trash. I just watched it and I was like, yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah. I heard it pissed off right-wingers and left-wingers.
Oh, nice.
Finally, common ground. Velma's bringing us together.
But she's trying to be like too edgy. I don't know. It's just weird.
And then the only other thing I watched was the original version of the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. So they made I watched a remake of this, and I didn't even know it was a remake at the time that had John Travolta in it. And like, I barely remember that movie, but I know I watched it. But basically, this one has Walter Matthau.
So young John Travolta?
No. He was in the remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
was he playing the Walter Matthau character?
No.
Like, that's a switch.
No, he was playing one of the bad guys, and Walter Matthau plays like
the curmudgeon-y good guy.
Yeah, he's kind of like a transit cop, kind of like he helps like with the subway and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And these guys, they basically kidnap a car of hostages, and they're like, "We want $1 million, or we start killing the hostages."
Just $1 million.
Walter Matthau to the rescue. I'm kind of getting sold on this.
Well, it was the '70s, so $1 million was still a lot of money.
Like, hey, give me $50 or I'll kill these people.
I mean, it was okay. I actually like. It's one of those movies. Like I follow Patton Oswalt on Twitter, and like he's always like talking about how it's like one of his favorite movies or whatever. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And it's fine. It's like if you're looking for like a thriller or whatever, like it's a decent movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Walter Matthau's not around anymore, is he?
No.
Okay.
No, he's been. I don't remember when he died, but he's been gone a while.
Okay. Yeah, I was confused. Like when you first talked about the movie, I was like, wait, what?
No, it's a like came out in like 1974 or something. Gotcha. And even in that movie, he looks kind of old.
Who was in Dennis the Menace?
Walter Matthau.
Okay.
Yeah, he was Mr. Wilson.
Gotcha.
Man, I haven't seen that movie in an age. I used to like it when I was a kid.
I never saw it all the way through. I just knew Dennis was a horrible kid. I hated him. I was like,
that kid's a menace.
Yeah. Like, he's a jackass, man.
You think Grumpy Old Man holds up?
Maybe.
I feel like the movies where just people are insulting each other constantly, there's always something there.
Yeah, Rush Hour was actually a surprisingly good movie just because like all they do is make fun of each other in there. It's just fun to watch them do that.
Oh, you know what made me laugh though? Like, so when this movie ends, like I watched the credits for a little bit, and like the people on the train, they're just like listing like the pimp, the prostitute, and one of them says the homosexual. And I'm like, it was funny because I didn't remember like anyone just being like a really like just like fabulous like character, you know? So I'm like, which one was the homosexual?
He's the one that pissed off the director.
Just snuck one in there.
He's like, hey, when we do the credits, this guy? Yeah.
How would you like that to be your IMDb credit? The homosexual.
What if there was no homosexual? They just put that in there to like throw everybody off.
We need something to call this guy. But yeah, the credits were pretty funny. And so you guys watch anything else you can think of?
I finished the latest season of the Great British Baking Show. Straight fire, y'all.
Okay.
I know a lot of people.
Peanut butter and fruit. Who would have thought?
I know a lot of people love that show. I don't know. Cooking shows just do not do it for me.
I think it's like therapeutic to just watch people cook, you know? Like, I don't know why, but it's just relaxing.
Relax. It's also like a good background show because you don't have to pay super close attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, my attention span is not great.
Yeah.
It used to be better.
I think, I mean, they show that, like, you know, social media and, like, always looking at cell phones and stuff, it does, like, destroy your attention span.
Yeah, big time.
I think that's why, like you were saying, like, sometimes it's hard to get your kids to watch an actual movie because, like, they just want to watch, like, YouTube videos and stuff, you know?
Talking heads of retards.
But yeah, it's interesting, like, the attention span thing.
With YouTube, like, people started getting used to watching like 10-minute videos and stuff, but I don't know. I prefer my content to be like 30 minutes to an hour, maybe longer. Like,
well, you watch 15 hours of God of War more than once.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Let me tell you guys about that. That is fun. That is a great watch. God of War Ragnarok. Oh my God. I first watched.
Skip forward.
I first watched the 7.5 hour gameplay, which was great. But I was like, I feel like I'm missing some information here, you know? Some of the gameplay, like, they actually reveal information. So I went back and I'm watching people like fight monsters and bosses and everything, but there's always that little line that Mimir might drop, like, "Oh, this happened over here," you know. So it's like it's just so fascinating, interesting to learn about the world and everything.
Does it ever bother you if the person playing like dies a lot and you're like, I want to see something new, quit dying?
I've been watching from this channel called Playground or Game Clips Playground, something like that, Gamers Playground. And they do a good job of like cutting out all the deaths and everything. So it looks good. Not too much having to watch. I have seen some gameplay. When I first started looking for the game, I watched like half an hour of somebody try to beat one boss over and over again. And I was like, all right, this isn't the channel for me. I got to go somewhere else.
Oh, I had something I wanted to talk to you guys about before we get into like our stories and stuff. Have you guys been following like this Chat GPT and like AI stuff?
I keep seeing it pop up, but I don't know a ton about it. It's part of OpenAI, right?
Yeah, so it's this thing where like, I mean, you can do all sorts of things. I haven't actually played around with that. I've just like read articles and stuff about it and watched videos on it. But like, you know, people can say, oh, you know, write me a 10-page paper about the history of Australia. And like it'll like do it, and like it'll actually read like pretty well and stuff. Or you can do like you know, write me a opening monologue for a late show, but in the voice of like Donald Trump or something. And like you get varying degrees. Like some people say like, oh, some you know, it's not perfect. You know, sometimes but it's good. Like it does a pretty decent job a lot of the time. And so like, you know, people are kind of worried about like, kids like using this to cheat in class because like stuff like that, and, plagiarism and just like, you know, people using it to cut out writers of various things because like, and it's still in its infancy, so it's only going to get better. But like, you should watch some of this stuff because like some of it's pretty impressive. And they even like, it can like give you rudimentary like programming code too. Like I saw one was like, make me a code for like a banana like bouncing around in a box or something, and it did it.
Yeah.
And like some people say, oh, we had to like finesse the code it gave. But you know what I'm saying is like it's already doing impressive shit. And like it's only going to get better and better, and so like it's interesting.
I mean, like they call it singularity of when AI actually emerges, but it's really hard to tell what's going to be left and what's going to disappear in the future. Here,
and that's another thing I was wondering about as far as even like. I think of my day job where I do like kind of this like accounting type work, and like, you know, there's not a program that exists right now that can do my job, but it's one of those things where I'm like, there 100% one day will be.
right.
And I'm also thinking just time wise, like I got like 26 years or so before I'm full retirement age. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take before that program exists, but I'm guessing not 26 years.
Probably less than 10.
And even,
probably somebody could make it today if they applied themselves.
And even like your guys' jobs, like you do deliveries, like, you know, they continue to work on self-driving cars. Mm-hmm. They continue to look at possibly drone deliveries. So like eventually I think those jobs are going to dry up. And even
probably all driving, yeah.
Even like security jobs like yours, like it does seem a little Orwellian to have like security droids, but like that's probably going to happen too.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of jobs are about to get phased out. I just don't know what the plan is for what happens after that.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's going to happen at all.
I mean, because like in the past, there's been times where like, oh, a new technology came along and got rid of certain jobs, but then that technology in and of itself like created a lot of more jobs. But like that's not always going to happen, and I think AI might be the tipping point where that doesn't happen. I don't know.
I was really thinking probably like, you know, some of the more advanced stuff like engineering and stuff would last for a while, programming. But I also thought like the creative stuff was probably going to be last on the list. And there's already like AI that's won art competitions and stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
I wasn't expecting. I was expecting that was going to be like one of the last thresholds, you know?
Man, I saw this video on Twitter today where it shows like this actress delivering this line where she says the F word. And then the AI paves over her and changes the F word to frickin', but it also like changes her mouth and it like simulates her voice to where like it's basically seamless where you would have thought she delivered the line that way. And then it goes one step further and it takes her voice and does her same line in other languages, Japanese and Spanish, and it also changes her mouth where like on those ones you can still kind of like tell that it doesn't quite match up, but like it's close.
It's in the neighborhood.
And you can definitely see that in a couple years they could get it to where it's seamless. And it's like, holy cow, that's crazy.
Yeah, we won't be able to believe our eyes anymore.
Oh yeah, I know. That's the other thing is you think of these people that for, you know, political reasons and stuff try to put out misinformation. Mm-hmm. Just think of they got these tools now that they're going to be able to do it like
they can make videos of like Joe Biden banging a bunch of dudes or something.
I mean, something that blatant. They you know.
I know, but I mean, like they could make something that looks
right, yeah. or just do things that are more subtle. Mm-hmm. You know, and even with the Chat GPT thing, like create a post that disparages this person and makes it seem like it's written by this person. You know,
okay.
I could see somebody doing that and, you know, just to create like
chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Mm. Like there was a story too, like I'm forgetting the details. There was a parody account that made up like some story and then some news outlet, maybe like Fox News or someone actually picked it up like it was a real thing and it caused all this outrage and then it ended up being over something that wasn't even true, you know?
Yeah, that happened with sports also. Like, yeah, that's happening a lot where they're picking up like some random bullshit information and running with it.
I read a book once and gosh, I'm forgetting what it's called. Trust me, I'm lying. I think Ryan Holiday. But he goes into like, if you want to manipulate the media, basically he would say he would seed a story with like, you know, like small blogs, because a lot of times what would happen is like major news outlets would watch the small blogs and then like kind of like steal their stories. And so like he would just seed stuff with these blogs, and sometimes he said he'd just send them a story and they'd publish it as their own or whatever, and then it'd get picked up by the bigger news outlets. I was like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently it's doable.
It's because like big media channels like are not good at their jobs anymore.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of demand if you're trying to put out something like 24 hours a day bullshit. And you're just like, I'll just take whatever I can find, and who gives a shit if it's true or not.
Always looking for content.
That's true. If the news never became a 24/7 channel and it was just like an hour a day, your news, like it probably would be a lot better.
Yeah.
Because they'd actually have to distill down the important stuff.
Well, that's the thing too. And like, I remember our grandparents, they just watch it 24 hours a day. And
I know.
You're not gaining anything. They repeat the same stories like every 30 minutes. You know, you're not getting anything out of this.
That's literally like all our grandparents watched were like soap operas and the news.
Yeah. I don't know which was worse.
Maybe The Price is Right every once in a while.
Hey, let's not talk about The Price is Right.
Man, that show is still going. Drew Carey.
Yeah, Drew picked it up, huh?
Yeah.
You guys got anything else you want to chat about before we get into story time?
I'm good.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Well, for anyone who hasn't watched, we're going to go around the table. Everyone's going to bring a wacky news story from around the globe, and we'll see if we can't just make something funny and or entertaining out of it. And as tradition dictates, AJ, we usually start with you, so what do you got for us?
Woman who had strange addiction of eating mattresses ate her mother's bed.
I've heard of this woman.
They say everyone is addicted to something, but you probably wouldn't assume that the something in this woman's case was eating mattresses. There are so many things you can get addicted to in this world, and new stuff people can get hooked on is popping up all the time, even if it doesn't intend to be addictive when it's made. These days, more people are seeking help to shake off an addiction to the popular video game Minecraft than they are to crack cocaine. Though perhaps there are those things not being. Then perhaps one of those things is not illegal. That has something to do with it. On top of that are the people with serious habits who keep up their addiction for years, like the guy who got hooked on Pepsi and drank 30 cans of the stuff every day for 20 years. Adding it all together, that's almost 220,000 cans of the cola and about 7 million cubes of sugar, which itself is highly addictive white powder.
Yeah, that seems like you definitely have diabetes by then.
Yeah. 20 cans, man, that's insane. Jennifer revealed that she could eat about a square foot of mattress per day. However,
she has her metrics at least.
Yeah. However, there are some more outlandish addictions out there too, such as the woman who got hooked on eating. It's just the same thing. The woman who got hooked on eating mattresses, Jennifer, featured on the TLC show My Strange Addiction, where she explained that she got through about a square foot worth of mattresses a day and moved on to eating her mother's mattresses after polishing off her own. She said, "I like my mattress plain and straight up. No mayonnaise, butter, none of that." The side effects of eating mattresses gas is really the only one you'd have. It enters my body and leaves my body, enters my system and goes out. Jennifer explained that she first got into eating mattresses when she was just 5 years old and started eating the sponge from her seat in her family car. It was...
a mattress is nothing but like your old skin cells and like sweat and like oils.
Maybe that's why she likes it. Like it's all oily. Yeah, it was butter.
You really want to find a fat fucker's mattress. Those are the good ones.
Yeah.
And this is a big woman, so like maybe these mattresses aren't fat free.
It just went on from there, and while she hadn't suffered health problems from her addiction, it did carry risk of liver damage or intestinal blockage, which could lead to death. Appearing on My Strange Addiction, Jennifer was warned about the potential lethal risk of her habit and promised to change her ways. Jennifer's brother Darius said he was dumbfounded when he learned about his sister's addiction. To be honest, it's not the weirdest eating habit we've ever seen. Not when there was a man who used to eat his way through things like glass and metal.
I don't know how that wouldn't kill you. Eating glass, you'd think that would just rupture your intestines.
Like tear it up.
Or your anus.
Like there are like prison stories of people like lacing people's food with glass to just like kill them.
Oh my gosh. Mitchell Litito, who was known as Monsieur Mangetoot? I don't know. I said mange. Infamously like eating foods that really weren't food, and at one point ate an entire plane over the course of 2 years. He was awarded the Guinness World Record for the strangest diet, and doctors determined that he had an eating disorder known as pica, which was where a person had cravings to eat things that are not food. You'd be right to think chomping down on a bunch of glass and metal would be pretty difficult for a person to do, but luckily for Monsieur Mangetot, he had very powerful digestive juices and a thick lining in his stomach and intestines, which allowed him to eat dishes of metal and glass without adverse effects. However, this did mean that certain actual foods made him pretty sick. Dang.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you just wonder, like, people that have these weird addictions, like, what caused it? Was it trauma? Was it just happenstance? She just like as a kid was like, oh, what's this? And she ate a piece and was like, for some reason, really loved it.
I think it's wires are crossed. Like, just like people who are turned on by feet, like they say like there's a part of the brain that's connected to sexuality. Like, I don't know. It's like they say that the part of the brain that's supposed to be turned on by other stuff or something it's turned on by feet because there's like some sort of connection that's wrong. I don't know. I've heard something about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a sexual fetish for almost everything. So apparently there's got to be something that can happen to people where it does that, where they just, for whatever reason, get fixated on a certain thing, and that's what's like tickles that part of their brain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from
speaking of sexual fetishes,
yes, I was hoping the segue
teasing parts of the brain. Okay. Police issue warnings after viral lewd videos in Tasmania. So, Tasmania has issued warnings to people saying that if you possess or share these videos, you will go to jail.
Okay.
So there's a couple. The first one is this couple. They have sex on like some artist's grave or something, and they filmed it. And I'm kind of like, okay, that's a little weird. The same couple. Second one, they're out on a boat. They catch like a trout, and the trout becomes like a dildo.
Oh, no.
And this has been filmed. And I should have looked it up just out of like morbid curiosity. But yeah, can you imagine this fish? You're just like living your life. It's traumatic enough being caught. Like you're ripped out of your environment, hook in your mouth, whatever. And then somebody's just like, all right. In you go.
He's like, hey, it smells like me in here.
I mean, it's
two women, one trout.
I mean, I'm sure they weren't the first, because we have had stories where like somebody would have like an eel up their ass or something. I vaguely remember those stories, but it's just like, I don't know. It's so weird and just out there. And then the government is like, if you share this, we're gonna put you in jail. It's like we don't want this circulating at all.
It does feel illegal.
But you're like, I don't want to be the only one that's seen that.
Right. Well, they said it went viral, so I'm wondering how hard it would be to find this video.
It's not illegal here.
Yeah, it's the Australian government, wherever it is.
Tasmania.
There's prudes in Tasmania.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Tasmanian devil.
Awful.
Seems like there should have been a good pun name for fish dildo.
You like Fishdicks?
We got a title. My story, like, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll just kind of give the Cliff's notes. And actually, I just, like, heard this story on a podcast today, and I kind of, like, and then I looked it up. So, like, because it kind of, like, interested me. So, apparently, like, there's this YouTuber in France, this woman that's 23 years old, and she has what I guess they call now dissociative identity disorder, which used to be called multiple personality disorder.
Right.
And so these, I guess, are almost always developed when young people have like suffer like trauma.
Some trauma, yeah.
Before like they're develop their personality or whatever. Anyway, because of this like past for this woman and this disorder, like She says she suffers depression, and so she wants to go to Belgium where they have assisted suicide and end her life, right? But and it didn't have it in this article, but like the other podcast I was listening to, like his article had this detail. So apparently, like a couple years ago, she attempted suicide, but the wrinkle in it is like she has this personality that suffers depression. So like it's like, okay, is she like, what if it's just one of her personalities that wants to do the assisted suicide, but like her main personality or alternate personalities like don't. So it's like kind of this like weird thing of where people are like, should she be allowed to do this?
Jeez.
I mean, it seems like if you were the suicidal identity and you were on the top, then like you just do what the fuck you want.
Well, apparently, like, it's like it's not something they take lightly. So it's not something that, like, apparently, if you sign up for it, like, it's like a several months process or something with them like interviewing you or whatever. So who knows if it'll actually happen? Like, I think generally, like, people should be able to do assisted suicide, but most people do it for when they have like cancer and stuff like that, or just they're in immense physical pain. But I guess if you're in immense like mental pain, the option should be there. I just thought this case like kind of brought a new wrinkle into it, in that like maybe like it's only she has one personality that's like this and the others aren't, you know. But also like in the article it mentions like she has like 40 different personalities or something.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I never knew it could be that much. I thought maybe like a Moon Knight situation where you got three or four, but man, 40? That seems like
nobody has enough time for that.
Yeah, 40 personalities. Holy cow.
Yeah, it must be hard to be around that person. Like, you don't know who you're talking to any given time.
But apparently there's a precedence for it, because in the same article it said like there was another 23-year-old woman who, I guess she like she suffered from depression, but she also witnessed like a terrorist attack like a year or two ago, and that really messed her up too. And so at any rate they allowed it.
I feel like if I ever saw something like that, I'd just be like, man, that was awful. And then I'd be like, man, I wonder what I'm going to eat, you know?
I mean, yeah, I could see it like fucking me up, but not enough to where I'd be like, oh, I got to end it all, you know?
Yeah.
I would like that survival instinct, you know, to keep going, I guess. Isn't Oregon like one of like the few states that allows assisted suicide?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know about that. I know Canada allows it.
I want to say there's actually a documentary they made years ago that called like Dying in Oregon or something, that's about people coming to Oregon to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's a depressing thing, but I think it is something that should be allowed everywhere. Well, AJ, do you got something more upbeat for us?
See, biohacker spends $2 million a year to get 18-year-old body. The solution to reverse the effects of aging has interested and puzzled scientists for decades, but a middle-aged man believes he has found a way to biohack his body to regain his youth. Brian Johnson, a 45-year-old tech developer who lives in Venice, California, has dedicated his life to following a rigorous daily routine which he says has given him the heart of a 37-year-old, the skin of a 28-year-old, and the lung capacity and fitness of an 18-year-old. While there are some external signs that Johnson is at least is healthier than most 45-year-olds, doctors are excited by what's happening on the inside. Lots of people are likely unconvinced by Johnson's quest for youth. However, doctors say his tests show he's reduced his overall biological age by at least 5 years. Johnson wakes up at 5 a.m. every day. His ultimate goal is to have all of his major organs, like his brain, liver, kidneys, teeth, skin, hair, penis, and rectum, function in the same way they did as he was in his late teen years. It's not as easy as it sounds. Johnson's initiative, known as the Project Blueprint, instructs him to follow a strict vegan diet of 1,977 calories. The daily recommended amount of calories per day for an adult man is 2,500. He must also take part in exercise each and every day that lasts an hour, plus high-intensity exercise 3 times a week. Bloomberg reports there are more than 30 doctors and health experts, led by medicine physician Oliver Zollman, monitoring all his bodily functions. He follows a strictly vegan diet. The daily regimen may sound like an absolute nightmare for many of us. He wakes up every morning at 5 a.m., takes 24 supplements. He works for about an hour, drinks green juice and added creatine and collagen peptides, and brushes and flosses his pearly whites while rinsing with tea tree oil and antioxidant gel. Before getting some shut-eye, Johnson wears glasses for 2 hours to block blue light. Johnson's vital signs are also constantly monitored, and he undergoes monthly medical procedures, many of them painful, to maintain his results. This includes ultrasound, MRIs, colonoscopies, and blood tests. This is in addition to the daily measurements of his weight, body mass index, body fat, blood glucose levels, and heart rate variations. During his sleep, a machine he's hooked up to counts the number of nighttime erections he has. Johnson's routine includes daily exercise. I treat athletes and Hollywood celebrities, and no one is pushing the envelope as much as Brian, said Jeff Toll, an internist who was part of the regime team. Johnson said, "What I do may sound extreme, but I'm trying to prove that self-harm and decay are not inevitable." Johnson has made his fortune when he was in his 30s. He sold Braintree, not the town in Essex, a payment processing company he founded, to eBay in 2013 for $800 million in cash. Before he sold his company, he experienced a big downturn in his medical and physical health. He told the outlet he was overweight, depressed, and nearly suicidal because of his long working hours. This period ultimately led to his interest in his own biology and pursuit for health.
Hey, when AI eliminates all of our jobs, we can tell this guy, hey, stop using that expensive machine that counts your erections. We'll just watch you with a log counter. Here's the thing. This guy probably this guy probably will live longer, but his life will suck because he has to do this bullshit all the time.
Sounds like he's doing a lot. Like, do you really need to check your BMI every day?
Like, who wants to get a colonoscopy every month?
Apparently this guy. He's got the... Well, I mean, you figure he doesn't have to work at all. So, like, he has some... Like, it's less than a work day worth of stuff every day. You know, he's putting in a few hours maybe. And then he's going and... I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe this routine keeps him sane. Unless he doesn't have a job or anything. He just, like... You know, this is his thing. This is what he does.
Yeah, it's, you know, obsessive hobby, whatever, so.
Sounds like a pretty miserable existence.
I'm guessing he has, like, some sort of, like, compulsive, you know, I gotta check my blood sugar every 30 minutes.
Yeah. I want to see how long he does this for. If he's doing this, like, 40 years from now and he's got, like, the body of a 25-year-old, then I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
He's getting those 18-year-old erections.
That sounded bad.
Nothing illegal about that.
What time we at?
Oh, we got more time. Manifesto round 2.
All right. Man dies after an internet sex game goes wrong. So...
They usually go right.
Right. So this guy had HIV, and so he's been kind of getting his kicks on the internet or whatever. And he meets his couple, and they talk to him about using nitrous oxide, which is apparently something.
They talked him into using a trout.
But so he got into this thing where, like, he gets some nitrous oxide, he'd pull a condom over his head, and then I don't know if you just like shot nitrous up there or something, but yeah, so you have like less oxygen in your blood or something, so you have better orgasms. But yeah, somebody found him dead with a condom over his head, empty like nitrous canister.
Oh man!
I was like, oh, that's not exactly the way I would choose to go.
Mm-mm.
What are doing whippets? Is that nitrous oxide?
I think it's just different drugs. I don't know what counts as a.
Where do you even get nitrous oxide?
I mean, the only place I've ever had it is a dentist.
I've been to dentist, but I've never had nitrous oxide.
Yeah, usually they gave me Novocaine, but once when I was a kid, I got it. I was supposed to be kind of dopey after that, I guess. But yeah, ugh. How many people like die from just like weird like fetish stuff?
Well, there's been multiple people that died from the guys who like to like belt around their neck, like
David Carradine.
Yeah, David Carradine
and Robert, what's his name?
The guy from like, was it NXS or it was one of those bands?
No, I'm thinking of Robin Williams. He died that way too.
Well,
his was ruled a suicide.
Yeah, I don't think his was like a masturbation thing. I think he just hung himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was having some kind of, was it like a he was having some form of like mental issue where like I don't want to say it was Alzheimer's. I don't know. I heard he was having some issue where it was like mental deterioration was getting to him or something.
I just thought he had like bad depression or something.
Yeah, I saw an interview before like he killed himself and he did seem very depressed. So it's pretty sad.
Let's see. This was not a banner week for finding interesting stories. Okay, I got a list article here. These are 7 strange birth customs and rituals from around the globe. Number 1, cake on the baby, Ireland. The Irish custom doesn't exactly take place at birth, but it still happens early in a child's life. During a baby's christening, you may see Irish parents spread some cake on a baby's head. It's a tradition in Ireland for a married couple to save a slice of their wedding cake. Once they have their first child, the parents smear a few pieces of the cake's top layer on the kid's forehead.
Spread out.
The custom is supposed to bring the baby good luck and long life. Some parents even add a few drops of champagne to help with the blessing. Considering how difficult it would have been to save a wedding cake for months before refrigeration, we're guessing this tradition isn't that old. Number 2, 30 days of isolation, China. Parts of China have the custom of Zuoyaozi, translating roughly to sitting the month. This tradition requires the mother to spend 30 days in confinement with her newborn child. The mother is expected to eat more than usual during the month, but she must avoid cold foods. She also is supposed to avoid regular bathing or leaving the house and feed the baby certain supplements. The practice might seem demeaning to us, and even in China, many women no longer observe it. However, it does have its advantages. Eating plenty of protein-rich foods can help the woman recover from pregnancy and birth, and gross as it may seem, avoiding excessive bathing may help heal any damage the woman may have suffered to her genitals during birth. Number 3, party for laughter, the Navajo. Everybody loves hearing their baby's first laugh, but in Navajo culture, that first giggle is a huge deal worthy of a feast. According to traditional beliefs, a newborn baby resides partially in both the physical reality and the world of the spirits. Laughter is taken as a sign that the baby has fully transitioned to the material world and is ready to begin life. If you happen to be visiting Navajo friends or relatives with a newborn, though, you might not want to play peekaboo with the kid. Traditionally, whoever causes the kid to have their first laugh has to pay for the party.
Ooh.
That's why I only scare baby. Spitting on the baby, Mauritania? I don't even know where that is. In case you're visiting the Wolof people living in Mauritania, you might see people spitting on a newborn baby, but that's not an insult, it's the exact opposite. The Wolof believe that a person's words stick to their saliva and affect reality even after they're spoken. It's common for people celebrating a child's birth to say a blessing and then spit on the baby. This way, they're trying to ensure the well wishes stick to their child for good. The family might even rub the saliva on the baby's skin to make sure the blessing comes true.
Blessings to you.
I got a real good blessing for you right here.
That'd be funny. Like they just have like the baby in the middle of the room, and then everybody they form a line. Everybody's just like,
it's like a spittoon or something.
A spittoon baby. Ting, ting. Number 5, don't drop it on the floor. Bali. Dropping the baby is never a good thing, but in Bali, you really want to hold tight to your kid. It's a tradition in Bali to not allow a newborn to touch the ground for the first 3 months of their life.
I like to go around like I'm playing basketball and slap the baby out of people's hands.
Haha, I got you.
You're a bad parent.
The Balinese people consider babies to be completely pure, angelic little beings. The ground, on the other hand, is a filthy place that could pollute the purity of a baby. Once a baby turns 3, the Balinese hold a celebration during which the baby touches the ground for the first time. Wonder if the 5-second rule applies to babies.
So if they touch the ground before that, do you just throw them away?
Just pretend like it never happened.
You're dirty now.
He's ruined.
It seems like a huge inconvenience to parents, really.
Yeah.
Number 6, eating the placenta everywhere. Consuming the placenta is a gross but persistent tradition. Whether it's eaten by the mother or someone else, this tradition is present all around the world. According to Chinese, Indian, and Jamaican folk beliefs, eating the placenta can have various spiritual beliefs. In the modern West, some people think eating the placenta can supply the mother with beneficial hormones and nutrients. There's very little science to back that up, though. Eating the placenta raw can cause food poisoning or infections, while cooking it will destroy whatever good stuff might remain in it. Did you eat the placenta? Number 7, a funeral for the placenta, the Igbo people. We might consider eating the placenta gross, but to the Igbo people of Nigeria and Ghana, it would be downright sacrilegious. To them, it's the equivalent of seeing someone chomping down on a fresh corpse. The Igbo people believe that placenta is more than just a nutrient funnel for the baby. They consider the newborn's dead twin and treat it with an appropriate reverence. After childbirth, the Igbo people give the placenta a complete funeral ceremony to put the supposed dead baby to rest. The most popular burial spot is under a growing tree. There are similar traditions elsewhere in Africa as well. The Kikuyu of Kenya, for example, bury placentas on uncultivated fields. That's just weird in that they think like every time someone's born, like there's also a stillborn, basically.
Yeah. It makes me think that like they must have at some point in history, like somebody pulled out 2 babies, and then they were like, oh, next time they were like, that must be the same thing. Like,
probably,
yeah.
I could see that happening. Mm-hmm. And then number 8, power through pain, Japan. Childbirth can be painful, but fortunately, modern medicine has many ways to alleviate the agony. In Japan, though, women often want to suffer through very excruciating suffer through every excruciating moment au naturel. Originating from ancient Buddhist traditions, some Japanese believe that suffering builds character. They see labor pains as a test that helps a mother prove her worth and prepare for the hard task of raising a child. Even today, many women in Japan will refuse any and all painkillers or epidurals. Those are some hardcore mothers right there. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I think the most interesting one is the spitting on the baby.
Yeah.
Because that just seems like something like most people, especially these days, would be like, no.
It seems like a terrible idea. Like, and thing is, they knew about germs back then. Like, you know, people used to throw dead bodies over walls to like infect cities and stuff.
You gotta teach kids it's a tough life.
I want to start the farting on babies tradition.
You got to take that? Patua.
Well, we're almost to the end of the show. Anybody got like a really short story we can go out on? Or anything interesting?
Let's see. What do I got? Which one's more interesting? Okay, this one's not quite as dark. Home Depot employee says he was fired after trying to stop kidnapping. So there's a Home Depot, and there's like this kidnapping going on, and some mom was like, help, he's trying to kidnap my child or whatever, help. And like, so this kid like gets on the phone with the police and like follows the guy and like goes out, and then like he gets fired. He gets this like email from Home Depot that says your conduct is directly against our employee like
handbook.
Right. And so they fire him, and then like it goes viral, and so eventually they kind of like renege and they come back and they offer his job back, and he's like, he kind of like reluctantly accepted it. I was like, man, I don't know. It's like it's like these people are just like, how do you fire somebody, and how do you, I mean, you're gonna set up this like paper trail of firing someone for the kidnapping, and it actually like addressed like the kidnapping in the email. It was like, you tried to stop a kidnapping. This is not something we do at Home Depot. You know?
We let kids get kidnapped, okay?
Did he actually prevent the kidnapping?
Well, so he was on the phone with the police, and it said like they told him not to engage with the person, but like, he was following him, and so apparently the kidnapping was subverted.
Okay,
but
I mean, you would think they would be savvy enough to be like, we don't want the bad PR from like firing this guy.
Yeah, like what was the manager thinking? I'd be like, even if it was against the rules, you'd be like, I'm just gonna ignore this and like you go the other way.
In my weird brain, I feel like there's some pedophile up top who's like, dang it, they got one from us.
You think the manager was like, oh no, if I don't fire him, it's gonna come back on me. I really need to fire this kid.
Yeah, if I was that kid, unless I like just desperately needed that job, I think I would have told him to go piss up a rope.
He could probably get a better job now. Like somebody might see him and be like, oh, this guy's got some character.
This is the kid who's prevented a kidnapping.
That's true. Like somebody who would like want to capitalize, it would be like, oh yeah, we're gonna give this kidnap preventing kid a job.
Yeah. Well, there's always like a Lowe's across from the Home Depot.
That's true.
And put out a big sign, we have the kid who stopped the kidnapping.
Yeah, that's something to celebrate. I don't get it.
Here at Lowe's, we take the stance we're against kidnapping.
It's even in our company handbook.
Yeah.
Don't kidnap.
They have a special section in their handbook. It's like, if you can stop a kidnapping, go for it.
We won't stop you.
We encourage it. Well, that will do it for the show today. We do thank everybody for playing along. Please, if you will, subscribe both to the YouTube channel and to the podcast on your podcast catcher of choice. Give us thumbs up, comments, all that good stuff. And why not come over to Twitter and follow us there? Guys, where can people find you on Twitter?
A name for this too, and that's number 2.
At Unsolicited, SUG.
And you can, of course, find me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. And that is going to do it for all of our shenanigans and poppycock this week. Please, please, please tune in again next week. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Yeah, have a good one.